Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate you all being here on such notice. It was a pretty crazy weekend for all of us as we identified our new men's ice hockey coach, and we appreciate all of you being here for this very special announcement. It was approximately 8 months ago when we announced the historic gift from Terry and Kim Pagula to help reestablish the men's ice hockey program to varsity status at Penn State. Men's ice hockey was a varsity sport from 1939 to 1946. The program was reinstated as a club sport in 1971 and has enjoyed national success for many years. I want to thank our current club coach, Scott Balboni, who's here with us today, and our entire team for helping us transition back to varsity status. Since our announcement in September, much has happened to keep us on track to transition the ice hockey program to begin varsity competition in 2012-13, playing an independent schedule, and then in 2013 and 14 to start competition in the new state-of-the-art Pagula Ice Arena. Last month, Commissioner Delaney announced the formation of the Big Ten Conference Hockey Conference, and we are extremely excited to add this great sport to the comprehensive and broad-based championship sports offerings provided in the Big Ten. We look forward to joining the storied programs and the strong traditions of our ice hockey colleagues in the Big Ten as a new era begins in 2013. We believe the quality of competition combined with the visibility provided by the Big Ten network will make Big Ten hockey the destination spot for the best young players in the game. In November, the Board of Trustees approved Crawford Architects to design the new arena and Mortensen Construction to build it. I'm pleased to report that the design and construction schedule are on target, and I know all of us will be very proud of the end result. Today, we are here for another very important announcement, the hiring of our men's ice hockey head coach. I would like all of you to join me in welcoming Guy Gadowsky as our new leader of the Penn State ice hockey program. Guy is joined by his wife Melissa and children Mac, Magnus, and Mia. They're seated right down here in the front. If you could just wave and turn around. Show them those nice jerseys. They got them dressed right. Also joining us today is Melissa's sister, who is a Penn State student, Kelsey McDonald, and we are all thrilled to have you join the Penn State family. Welcome. I want to thank Joe Batista and the search committee members and Linda Caldwell, our NCAA faculty rep, for your efforts in identifying Coach Gadowsky as our future leader for this program. It was a wonderful process, and we appreciate everyone's effort in the identification of Guy. Guy Gadowsky has enjoyed a very impressive coaching career to date. He has helped build programs at Alaska Fairbanks and Princeton University to top national programs. He has developed NHL players and won conference championships and have teams participate in the NCAA tournament. He has been recognized with both conference and National Coach of the Year honors. He is highly respected among his peers, and every person we spoke to spoke about his high integrity and his passion for the game and for the student athletes that are under his leadership. His players have consistently excelled in the classroom and in the community as well. We believe he has the total package to reach the goals for our program and will be a fantastic addition to the Penn State community. We are thrilled to introduce him as our head coach. Please join me in welcoming the new head coach of the Penn State men's ice hockey program, Coach Guy Gadowsky. Guy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let me get a little thing here. Yeah, let's do a little of this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Now we'll have a few comments from Guy.
My comments is thank you very much. That's nice to hear, and it's so great to be here. This is exciting. It's ever since Joe Battista came by, he just to look at the arena and just get ideas and feelers for what he's doing. And after meeting him for 5 minutes, I mean, you just want to jump on board and just come here. And I thank him so much for spending the time with me and letting me hear a little bit about the vision that he's had, probably a lot longer than any of us know. And so it's so exciting for me. I just love the spirit. My sister-in-law, Kelsey, that's the reason she came here was because of the school spirit. She said she wanted to go to the school that had the best spirit in the nation, and she chose here. And I know why, and I wanted to share in that. I wanted a little bit of it, so this is extremely exciting for me, and I want to thank my family because I'm excited that they get to take part in it too, and we're leaving a place that was very good to us, but they've been so supportive, and I think they're as excited as I am to join your family.
Okay, at this point we'll take questions from the media here, and we'd ask that you please raise your hand. We have 2 microphones, so please raise your hand, and we'll take some questions for Tim or for Guy, and then once we've completed the formal part of the press conference, both of them will be available for some one-on-one. So please raise your hand, and we'll take some questions.
Coach, it seems like in your previous 2 stops you've had, obviously you have experience rebuilding programs. What can you take from those previous experiences into the situation you're coming in now where you're building a D1 program, from scratch?
Well, I think you take a little bit from every experience you've had, but I don't look at it actually like we're building from scratch at all. We have a great tradition here. I mean, you look at the success that the club team has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and I know there's already a great fan base, not only student body, but community members that love hockey. So I think we're well ahead of the game, that's for sure. So by no means are we starting from scratch, but I think everywhere you go, you can take parts of it with you that you can use to make the next place successful. So I think probably the biggest thing is one of the reasons this was such a great fit is that Penn State does things right. I mean, they have the top graduation rate among the top football schools, and far and by they do. You never hear anything bad in the news about Penn State. When you hear about Penn State on ESPN News or news, it's about great things, not bad things, and that's extremely important. Obviously, it didn't take me long to be here to understand that that's something that Coach Paterno obviously set the foundation and standards for, and I think the entire athletic department is following along. So that's something that I would very much like to continue. And at Princeton, the place where I was last, we were led by just a great athletic director who led through a foundation of values. And I understand. I grew to appreciate the values, but I also now grew to understand that if you want sustained, long-term success, how holding true to those values is very important. So hopefully, not hopefully, we will bring that here.
How difficult of a task do you see this jumping into the Big Ten after just 1 year against 5 schools that have very rich hockey traditions?
Well, you said difficult. You don't know Joe Battista, do you? I mean, you can't use the word difficult if you know Joe. I mean, I'm sort of caught in his spell right now, and I don't even think that way. So I think we're going to play some great programs, obviously, but that's what Penn State expects. So that's what we're going to do.
My question for you, in the past with the club program, there's been a big focus on academics. Joe has stressed it.
Yep.
Obviously, you stressed it at Princeton, and it's going to be important, despite the fact there are going to be some players that may leave after a couple of years to go on to professional careers.
Well, thank you. I like that term, Hockey Valley. I know you used it, Mr. Curley. That sounds pretty good to me. Academics is obviously, it's a huge goal of what we do. There has to be, Joe and I talked about this, there's going to be a 100% graduation rate, but as you mentioned, we're going to have success. We're going to bring in some great athletes, and I'm sure they're going to be asked to sign pro contracts early, and I guess aside from that, we understand that, but aside from that, we're going to stick to the values and the foundation that Coach Paterno started and the whole athletic department follows through with, and we're going to have perfect graduation rates. That's the goal.
Where were you when you first heard the news that that you got hired, and what was your very first reaction?
Well, I mean, after being here, I wanted it so badly. It's just, you can't be here without getting caught up in the spirit, and it's just, you want to be a part of it. I think that's probably like my sister-in-law, probably every other student has felt that, probably everybody here has felt that, and it's a reason why you're here. And so it's why I wanted to be here. And where I was, it was a fog. I was still caught in a Batista spell. I have no idea.
Sarah, I can add to that. I can tell you where he was, because when we called him, he was actually on the ice with his boys skating, and so we were trying to communicate while he was in between slap shots. It was over the weekend.
Tim, can you talk about the selection process overall, and at what point did you settle on Guy, and what sort of stood out for you in terms of choosing him?
Well, I thought it was an excellent process. We had a great search committee that was chaired by Joe, and we had an opportunity to just get a real good idea of what the pool of candidates were out there, and then which ones were interested. And they were able to, through the search committee, to just whittle that list down. And then we were able to reach out and have some people visit campus. And then what really stood out was just the tremendous integrity, just the wonderful spirit that he has, the passion that he has for the sport. But I think more importantly for us was the passion that he has for the student athletes, and doing right by the student athlete, and building a culture that people want to play for him. If there was one thing that just kept coming back, was just, again, his passion, and that the players really buy into his system and the culture that he has and the values that he has. And that everyone we spoke to, it just came through and through every single time. And you know, it was a great pool of candidates, but at the end he really separated himself that way, and we're just absolutely thrilled to have him on board.
Well, we get to start it real soon. I'm excited about it. I get to coach the team, so they're going to be my first alumni. I'm pumped about it. It's going to be fun. I think I get to meet the whole team shortly after this press conference. So it all starts now.
Again, Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Recent efforts been made to kind of reach out into the Canadian provinces and lure some of those kids up here, or down here to the States, going into junior leagues. How difficult do you think that is? And I mean, you have, obviously being from Canada, those, how do you think that's going to try to bring some of those kids down here?
Well, as you know, there's some great students, great student athletes in Canada, great student hockey players in Canada, and I think they're just going to love Penn State. Obviously the spirit, but other things. I think it's, you know, sometimes where I'm from in the prairies, some of us, we get a little intimidated by, you know, big city sidewalks and lights, and I know Kelsey loved it when she came here. In comparison to that, I think the Canadian hockey players are going to love it here. They're just going to eat it up, and you know, they're great students. We've had a lot of success in Princeton with some of our best students come from Canada, so it's something I absolutely want to explore. College Hockey Inc. is doing a great job in educating all of Canadian hockey players on the benefits of college hockey and how exciting it is, and they haven't even seen Penn State yet. So it's going to be a process that we certainly look into. We're going to try to get the best student hockey players from not only Canada and the U.S., but hopefully in Europe as well. The Penn State brand, the tradition that it has is, I think, easily sold, and I think there's going to be a lot of great hockey players from all over that are going to get to enjoy it.
Coach, what are your plans for this interim year before the first official season?
Yeah, I get to coach the team. I'm excited about it. I want to get to know them, and also I think a lot of the season, not just hockey, but I'm very intrigued at how this machine gets to be how it is, and I want to learn from it. I want to meet a lot of coaches and see how they've been successful and how they generate the pride, how the whole school generates the spirit that they do. So I think the first year I get to coach the team, but more, I guess, for myself is just learning how you do things so well. I mean, everything you do, obviously, you do better than great. You don't do anything 99%. Nothing you do is 99%, and I want to learn about how you accomplish that. And at the same time, I think you do it, but you do it with values. I think, actually, there's a lot of, obviously, very impressive things about Penn State. But one of the things that really sort of stuck to me is, you know, people can talk values and talk family, but I had the opportunity to meet Coach Jay Paterno, and when I was in his office, we were talking about a lot of things, but part of the spirit is what's very important to me, and I would really love my boys and when my girl gets a little older to experience the spirit that we have. But I remember looking behind Coach Jay Paterno's chair, and he had this picture drawn. It was obviously drawn from one of his children, and it was a picture of a football player, and all it says, "We are Penn State." And I thought that was the coolest thing. Like, that's what I would love to have for my family. So I guess the answer is I want to learn how you do things so well, but keep a grounded foundation as well.
Coach, if we could backtrack to recruiting, you talked a lot about, you know, pulling from other places, but what about locally? Is there enough interest and enough talent here?
Absolutely. There's, you know what, there's if you look at college hockey rosters across the nation, you're going to find people from what we call in the hockey the Mid-Am District. There's great hockey here, and you have two very successful NHL franchises, and you can do a tremendous job in, I don't know how many 100-mile radius, but you can do a tremendous job here. We want to get diversity. We want to add some Canadians and some Europeans. I think it strengthens the team aspect and the chemistry, but you can do a tremendous job here, and wait till the rink comes. You're going to get even a lot more local. There's going to be a time when you're going to turn on and watch an NHL hockey game, and you're going to say, I remember when that guy played not only Penn State, but when he played for, you know, when he was a little 9-year-old playing down at the rink. It's going to happen. Hockey there's already good talent here, but it's going to get better and better. And this facility, I was lucky enough to see the plans, is going to attract not only the best college hockey players, but the best hockey players. And we're going to have youth tournaments, and it's going to be rocking even at the youth level. So in a matter of time, you're going to be seeing players play for Penn State that grew up playing their youth hockey right here.
Hi, Coach. On behalf of a lot of the local youth coaches, I'd like to welcome you to Penn State. I mean, just so that you know, we have Kurt, State College High School coach in attendance. Brett Wilson's over here. I've coached locally and still coach locally. And so, two questions. She kind of stole my thunder. I wanted to ask you how much you knew about a lot of the Western PA talent. For instance, Mike Weber plays for Buffalo.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ohio State recruited heavily from Western PA.
Yep.
Obviously, Joe B would be a big advocate of that. But so I wanted to get a little bit more of your thoughts on what you know about Western PA. And then last question would be, what positions do Magnus and Max?
Well, so the most important, thank you. It's nice. I like to hear that. The most important question first. Magnus is a centerman / defenseman, depends on where the toughness has to be. And Mac is a goal scorer. He plays the left side, the right side, center. So that's the most important question. Other than that, you know, I think there's certainly successful NHL players. R.J. Umberger, he's got to be somewhere close to here and grew up here. But there's also, if you look at college hockey rosters, there's PA, there's and even just closer than the Atlantic District as well. To be honest with you, there was more kids out of the Atlantic District playing college hockey than there were in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, or all the maritime provinces. So there are great hockey players here locally. And but I'm glad that you're a youth coach, because I would like to get even a little more intense on developing him right here in a more, you know, maybe even in a smaller area. I think that would be unbelievable. That would be, I think, you know, when we talk about goals, It's something Joe and I talked about. I mean, one of the check marks is going to be when we get the first, youth developed hockey player right here in Hockey Valley to come play for Penn State.
Guy, you talked about sort of embracing the success of Penn State programs across the board. You got a third-year coach, wrestling coach here, who just won a national championship.
Yeah.
And the expectations, the buzz around hockey here seems to be that, well, you guys have been winning national championships for 2 or 3 years. It sounds like you sort of embrace that, but you have to be conscious, I guess, about saying, hey, this is going to take at least a little while to develop.
Well, sure. I mean, that's, you're breaking, you're killing my buzz. It was, the reality of it is, yeah, we're going to face the best programs in the nation, and they've had a bit of a head start on us. But they don't have our spirit, so I think we're going to catch up sooner than people think. Hey, there's going to be some tough times, but you know what? I know we're going to have a lot of fun during those times. And when it finally does, when we finally get this thing rolling, I think it's going to look back at those years when we've only been a few years in and we're getting possibly shellacked by, one of the Big Ten schools that have had championships and a lot of success, and they're going to enjoy it at the time because I think they know that payback's going to be coming.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take a few photographs here in the front with Tim and Guy, and then they'll be available for some one-on-ones. So thank you very much.
Thank you.